Update. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my daughter-in-law take my late husband's wedding ring? Original post. I'm a widow in my 60s. My husband passed away 10 years ago and I've kept his wedding ring in a little box with some of his things. It's nothing fancy, just a plain gold band, but it's one of the few things I still have that feels like him. Sometimes when I miss him, I take it out and hold it. It's been a real comfort over the years. My daughter-in-law, Jenna, has always commented on the ring when she visits. She'll say things like, "It's so timeless," or "I'd love to wear something with that kind of history." I thought she was just being nice, but last week, she came right out and asked if she could borrow it for a while. I didn't really know how to respond at first. She said wearing it would help her feel closer to the family and honor my husband. I told her I wasn't comfortable with that. The ring is so personal to me. It's not just something you loan out. It's a part of my memories with him. But Jenna didn't seem to understand. She got upset and said she didn't think I trusted her and that I was being selfish for keeping something so meaningful to our family locked away. She even said it would mean more to her to wear it than for me to just keep it in a box. My son didn't really say much at a time, but later I got a text from Jenna. It was long and emotional. She said she was hurt and that I was treating her like an outsider and that maybe I was too stuck in the past to see how much this would mean to her. She even hinted that I was being controlling, which honestly broke my heart. Now, some other family members are saying I'm overreacting and that is just a ring, but it doesn't feel that way to me. My husband and I were married for 35 years. That ring has been with me through everything. Good times, bad times, raising our kids. I don't want to sound dramatic, but it feels like a piece of him is still with me. I can't imagine letting it out of my sight. I'm starting to wonder if I'm being unreasonable though. Jenna seems to think I'm trying to shut her out, and the last thing I want is to cause tension in the family. I don't know if I should apologize or stick to my decision. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the update. She's not even related to your husband? Like a child requesting it, I can see. But it's her father-in-law's wedding ring. Lol, she can get lost. She has zero claim to it. Not the a-hole. I really appreciate your support. I've been feeling so conflicted, but it helps to hear that others understand how personal this is to me. I would buy a chain and start wearing it. That way you know where it is. Not the a-hole. WTF? Who are these family members saying your late husband's wedding ring is just another piece of jewelry? That's bananas. Not the a-hole, but your daughter-in-law and any family members encouraging this lunacy are. She was wildly out of line to ask for the ring. This is crazy. Even if it was your son/his son asking, that would be iffy and totally reasonable to say no. The wedding ring was a special symbol between you and your husband. No one else. This is wild. Also, if the ring isn't that big of a deal, then it's not a big deal to wear it. Can't have it both ways to those saying it's not a big deal. Daughter-in-law, while I appreciate that you want to form stronger bonds with our family, this isn't the way to do it. That ring isn't something I would ever loan out or give to anyone else. It is a symbol of my 35-year marriage to the love of my life. It was inappropriate for you to ask for it in the first place, and wildly inappropriate for you to react this way to me saying no. I really can't believe this even has to be said. Damn. Also, I would hide a ring when she or your son is over. Or wear it. Thank you for understanding. It's been such a hard thing to navigate. I feel awful for saying no to Jenna because I really do want her to feel part of the family. And I didn't mean to hurt her feelings. It's just that the ring is so deeply personal to me. Every time I look at it, it reminds me of my husband and all the years we spent together. I've been trying to think of ways to make it up to her or help her feel more connected, but I just don't know what to do without giving up something that means so much to me. I feel stuck, and the last thing I want is to cause tension. I didn't expect this to become such a big issue. It's honestly been weighing on me. Now for the update. Something really weird just happened, and I don't even know what to think. You know how Jenna's been acting strangely lately? The whole ring thing, getting rid of my late husband's belongings, and being obsessed with his ring? Well, let me tell you, this situation just got worse. Really, really bad. At 6 a.m. this morning, my son called me. He said he was worried about Jenna because she wasn't feeling well. He asked me to come over and sit with her. Honestly, I wasn't in the mood to deal with it and didn't even want to go, but since he asked, I figured I should do my part. When I got there, she was lying on the couch looking pale and shaky. She didn't look like herself at all. I immediately suggested taking her to the ER, but she snapped at me and insisted she was fine. When I told her she needed to see a doctor, she screamed at me to leave her alone and get out. She was clearly angry and didn't want me there at all, but I thought maybe I could at least help her feel more comfortable. I told her I was going to use the bathroom and then I'll leave her be. While washing my hands, I noticed the guest bedroom door was open. I didn't think much of it at first, but then I figured maybe I could grab her an extra pillow or something. She didn't seem to be resting well and could probably use something more comfortable. I wasn't trying to snoop, I was just trying to be helpful. But when I pulled a pillow down from the top shelf of the closet, I noticed something behind it, a box I'd never seen before. It looked out of place, like it had been shoved there or hidden. At first, I didn't recognize the box, but when I opened it, well, you're not going to believe what I found inside. First, there was my husband's old fishing hat. I thought we'd already gotten rid of all his old stuff when they helped me clean the house, but here it was, tucked away. Then there were some other random things. His old scratched-up sunglasses and a pack of Black & Milds. I'm certain I didn't buy them, but I know my husband used to smoke them occasionally. At the bottom of the box was a creased Polaroid photo. It was a picture of Jenna. She looked like she was in her late teens or early 20s, standing in front of a lighthouse I immediately recognized. It was a place we used to visit as a family, years before Jenna and my son even met. I have no idea why it was in there with my husband's things. I'm sitting here scratching my head because this is so confusing. Why would you keep these old things? And what is that picture doing in there? Jenna screamed at me to leave from the other room, and I was so startled that I put everything back and just left. I don't want her to find out I was snooping, but I can't stop thinking about it. I'm shaking. What just happened? That girl is your husband's affair child. I can't prove it, but my intuition strongly says no. There has to be another explanation. I'm working on figuring it all out as we speak. This is a seriously twisted update. The fact that Jenna has a picture of herself as a child in front of a lighthouse where you and your husband took your family is far too coincidental. The fact that Jenna is so obsessed with your husband's belongings and has this picture in a box of his secretly hidden items is very troubling. Is there any possibility that your husband and Jenna had a previous relationship before she met your son? Could he have dated her mother and been a father figure to her? Is it possible that your husband is her father? At this point, I would seriously wonder about the current relationship she has with your son and how random or coincidental their first meeting really was. All of this is adding up to some seriously twisted stalker vibes. If Jenna suspects you've discovered her secret box, she may try to relocate the evidence. Jenna sounds incredibly unstable, and I'm guessing your son will ignore your concerns unless you can gather more information or documentation about Jenna, your husband, and their past. For the sake of your son and the rest of your family, I suggest you hire a professional investigator to uncover what you might not be able to figure out on your own. It's all so unsettling. The picture by the lighthouse really got to me. It's such a personal memory for our family. People are saying my husband might have had some connection to Jenna's mother, but I just can't believe he'd stoop so low. All I know about her mother is that Jenna had a rough childhood, grew up in foster care, and isn't in contact with her. We've never even met her. The idea that Jenna somehow forced her way into my son's life feels too strange to ignore. But I don't even know where to start. Part of me doesn't want to dig deeper, but at this point, I might not have a choice. I hope she doesn't know I snooped or found her box. But now I'm worried she might move it, which is another reason I'm so unsure of how to confront the situation. Regardless of the truth, I can't imagine a scenario where Jenna would come clean, at least not in a calm and kind way. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister that my wife isn't spoiled, her husband just doesn't like her? I, 34 male, am married to the love of my life, Michelle, 31 female, and we've been together for 13 years, married for 11. My wife is chronically ill, and as soon as it was financially feasible, I suggested she quit her job and stay at home. Since then, I've become quite successful in my career, and I've encouraged her to get out of the house to pursue hobbies we didn't have the money, time, or energy for before. We are incredibly happy with the direction our life is going, and Michelle's mental and physical health has never been better. We split household chores according to how Michelle is feeling. On her good days, she'll usually do just about everything that needs to be done before I even get home. On days when her illness is acting up, a lot of it falls on me. I honestly don't mind. There isn't a whole lot for us to do on a day-to-day basis, besides laundry, dishes, cooking, and tending to the dogs. We have a housekeeper who comes once a week and handles most of the major stuff. I enjoy cooking, and on days she can't do anything, I typically only have about an hour's worth of chores. I also just generally like to spoil her and bring her home gifts and trinkets, encourage and financially support her hobbies, and take her on 2 weekly dates and vacations. I like seeing her happy. My sister, Karen, cannot wrap her head around this concept. Her husband, Bill, works in the same industry as me, making similar money. However, Bill does not treat Karen the way I treat Michelle. Bill won't let Karen be a stay-at-home wife. She frequently mentions how he rarely takes her on dates or brings her home flowers or gifts, how he isn't generous with his money, and how it should be their money. Despite this, she has always criticized my wife for being spoiled. Anytime I mention what my wife happens to be up to that day, example in a cooking class, golfing, painting, my sister gets huffy and makes comments about how lucky my wife must feel and how surprised she is that Michelle stays busy. If I mention ever having to do a single bit of housework, Karen talks about how selfish Michelle is for not doing her part, saying that cooking breakfast is the least my wife could do. If I tell my mother about the emerald earrings I bought Michelle, the spa day I sent her on, or the new recipe I'm making for her tomorrow, Karen makes comments about how our relationship isn't equal and that I'm being taken advantage of. Recently, at a family dinner that neither Bill nor my wife attended, I casually mentioned to my mom that after dinner, I needed to run a load of laundry so I'd have clean pants for work the next day. My wife was having a bad flare-up and had been confined to the couch. My sister scoffed and loudly said, "If she wasn't so spoiled, you wouldn't be coming home to a bunch of chores." I responded with, "My wife isn't spoiled. Your husband just doesn't like you," and asked her why she's forced to work if her husband makes as much as me. She got mad. My parents were irritated and I was asked to leave the dinner. My sister has since sent me texts calling me names, and my mother has reached out saying that what I said was insensitive and asking me to apologize. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. Your sister sounds bitter because her husband doesn't treat her with the same love and care you show your wife. And instead of addressing that, she's taking it out on you and Michelle. Honestly, she's projecting her frustrations. And while your comment was spicy, it seems like it hit a nerve because there's truth to it. She needs to stop comparing her marriage to yours and work on her own issues with Bill. You're just out here loving your wife and doing what works for your relationship. Chronic illness is not a choice. It's insensitive of your sister to dismiss your wife's health struggles and imply that she's selfish for not contributing equally to household chores when she's experiencing a flare-up. Not the a-hole for being honest. She's just jealous that you treat your wife the way she wants her husband to treat her. What I don't understand is why they're mad at you when she's the one constantly talking smack about your wife. Maybe they need to step back and think about why they're okay with how your sister speaks to you but not okay with what you said. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my dad's parents to take care of dad's affair baby if he needs a babysitter because I won't? My parents are getting a divorce. 6 months ago, we found out Dad has a kid 4 with someone else. Dad was cheating, probably a lot and with a ton of women if his reaction was anything to go by. My mom kicked him out, the house is hers, and said his kid wasn't allowed to live with us. Dad ended up moving into a place owned by his parents. They're wealthy. I, 16 male, don't see him. My siblings, 13 female, 12 male, saw him once, but the judge said we didn't have to go and see him. We don't want to see him, so we don't go. My dad's parents were never very present in our lives, but now they're acting like we were once close, and that we're punishing the whole family for what dad did. It started when dad texted me and asked me to babysit for him. I can't block him yet while court stuff is still ongoing. Apparently, a judge wouldn't look at that in a good light and could change the custody stuff if we ever sever all ties right now. Having his number unblocked is enough. I ignored his texts, and then his parents showed up at our house and told me I needed to babysit my sibling and spend time with them because we'll be family forever. I said no. They tried to argue, but I said I won't be in the kid's life, so there's no forever. I said I don't want to know the kid, or dad, or any of them. Then mom made them leave. Dad texted some more. We saved these messages and mom's lawyer documented them, but I ignored those too. Then his parents tried again, and I told them I don't want to take care of dad's affair baby. They can since they've got money and they want this kid. I said I don't, and that's not changing. They told me the child is innocent, and I said I know, but I don't go out of my way to get to know innocent kids I see in the world. And I'm not going to do it for this one either. They told me I'm still punishing a child who's my sibling, and that the kid will grow up wondering why their 3 half-siblings won't even speak to them. They also said I'd be paid for babysitting, which makes my stubbornness even worse. Am I the a-hole? Nope, not the a-hole. You've got freedom of choice, and you've made your choice. You did great telling your grandparents to watch the kid themselves if they're so bent out of shape about it. Next time, you should also tell them that it's not your fault or responsibility that their son threw his nice life in the toilet. And it's actually their fault for not raising him with better morals. Not the a-hole. They're right, the kid is innocent, but it seems they forgot you're a kid too. Not the a-hole. And in what way is the 16-year-old not babysitting punishing the kid? Ridiculous. It's punishing the adults who don't want to watch the kid either. They care about themselves, not opiate his siblings. Hopefully, when the court stuff is over, the kids can all block their sperm donor and his parents and have peaceful lives going forward. Not the a-hole. Exactly as you say, this kid is a stranger to you, and innocent or not, is not part of your life. You have the right to decide who you have in your life, and it's perfectly reasonable not to want to have anything to do with this child. Opie and their full siblings are innocent too. They're not the ones who cheated on their spouse, but they're still being punished by having their family ripped apart. Forcing them to do extra chores, babysitting, is punishing them for something they didn't do.